Hello everyone and welcome to another one of my track guides. I've not done track guide for a while, so I thought I'd get in there and do one. I decided to do Indi road course for you all today because A, I've not done it on this circuit before, and B, I set pole position here in the GT300 League just gone at round 10. So I'm going to use the same car. I'm just going to show you the sort of the lines and how I'm thinking about racing. So if I press play, you can see we've got the outside view of the circuit. This circuit is in America and it's a very quick one. This is the road course, so ordinarily it's just a loop, but the road course has got like a twisty bit, like an infield section, so that's what we're dealing with here, the Indi road course. Very famous circuit. I'm driving the MR2 GT300 car, limited to 305 horsepower for vrroom.org rules, and I'm just going to sort of talk you through what I know of the circuit. I've had to discover this myself. I did use this circuit extensively at the GT Academy 2010, I think it was. It's quite a while ago, so that's where I really learned how to be sort of quick around here. The circuit is about 2.5 miles long. The longest straight is about 0.6 of a mile. So very high speeds, and the circuit predominantly is flat, totally flat. There's an elevation difference, I believe, of only about 11 foot, which is nothing. That's probably just the bank section, to be honest with you. It's quite a good circuit. I enjoyed racing here, so I'm just going to take you on board for a lap of it and give you some sort of tips and pointers. I hope it helps anyone out who's watching, who's trying to maybe improve the times here or unsure about lines and apex points. So here we go. I'm going to put us on board first of all. Now the key to a good lap starts here. Now this is the last turn, but the key to a good lap starts here, because this will give you, if you get this corner straight, this will give you a good speed down the straight, because it's a very long straight. You've got to brake quite early, as you can see I've started the braking phase, and you've got to take as much of the curb on the right as possible. So let's just see if I did that. Not too bad, a little bit of a trail brake inwards there. We're in third gear doing about 64 miles an hour. You can actually take more curb than that. And what that means is if you're on the apex curve, it means that when you put your foot down, you won't drift out into the sandpit on the left. Okay, so as I accelerate here, you'll see I just clipped the rumble strip on the left of the circuit, which is there, on the left of the shot there. So as we accelerate hard down the main straight, see if I can get the dials on, which I can, we'll just stick with this, not a problem. So there's no real skill to this. I find maybe sticking to the inside of the circuit because it's a shorter route. As you can see there, I'm hugging the sort of apex rumble strip on the right hand side of the circuit, so stay away from the wall. Just accelerate hard and then unwind the steering so that you're on the far left of the circuit. Now there, that's the start finish, so we're about to start the first flying lap. You've got to stay well to the left, because the next corner is, you need to trail brake, and it's a right-left flick, so you need to be on the left of the circuit to make the apex on the right. So I'll stop it at my braking points as we come down here. So whenever I hit the brakes, there, I've started to hit the brakes, and as you can see from the marker, we're about 100 metres out from the corner. I was doing 150 miles an hour and immediately got the speed down to 130. Now you've got to head for the tyres. You'll see in the centre of the screen almost, there's like a red little block. That's some tyres, and you need to head for that. And there's a little bit of rumble strip just to the left of the tyres, and that's where you need your front right-hand tyres to go to grip in, and you've got to trail brake it in. So I'll stop myself when I get there. So there we go, there's the tyres and there's the apex, and the apex should be hit as much as possible, and you can go over the curb there as well. You can use all the curbs around here. You should hit that with the front right tyres and the rear tyres. Now you've got to get the second apex, which you can just see to the right of your shot there. You've got to get that one, but to be able to get that one, you've got to exit this corner as far to the right as possible, so then you can flick it to the left. So I'll show you that here. So there, I'm sort of in the middle of the circuit, but as far to the right as possible. You need to stay away from the left for as long as possible. And the apex here on the left is actually quite late around this rumble strip, and I'll show you where that is. It's about there. Can you see, everybody? It's towards the end of the rumble strip. Now this means that we can now put our foot down and we can use all the tarmac to the right hand side of the circuit to go on the rumble strip at the right hand side, and that's where you should be heading. So as you see, I'll start accelerating as I unwind the steering, very gently accelerating, because if you're too fierce you'll spin up the rear tyres and you will end up in the barriers on the right. So here we go, should end up on the rumble strip here, which I have really, you know, it's not as tight as it could be, but I've head out to the right of the circuit. Now there is one apex clipping point here, which is about there. And now, the next corner is another right-hand turn, so it's a double apex. You can see on the telemetry on the left, it's like almost a double apex. So this is the first, and you've got to let the car drift to the left, okay? Try to use minimal brake, but you're hard on the gas, so you're hard on the gas, and then when you get to the braking point, minimal brake, just trail brake the car in, and get that little bit of over-rotation, get that little bit of oversteer to let the back slide out, and that'll point you to the next apex, and I'll show you that here. So come off the gas, bit of brake, there, at this point, the back will step out a little bit and you can head to the right hand side, and you need to take as much of that apex as possible. So here we are, there, that's the apex clipped, because I'll let the back of the car slide out to point the front in to clip this apex. Now, from now on in, it's just full blast, so it's plenty of gas as you accelerate and unwind the steering to the left of the circuit. Full blast around this apex, take as much of it as you can, now keep to the left. Now this corner is very tricky. Lots of people slide wide on this corner. They go to the right hand side of the circuit, or they try to do the normal apex line of going to the right of the circuit and then clipping in to apex on the left. That's not how you should deal with this, in my opinion. In my opinion, what you should do is stay tight to the left, just trail brake in a straight line. As earlier than you think, because you need to keep that tight inside line, and you don't go down too many gears either. You only got to go down to about 3rd gear, and as you can see at the moment I'm in 5th. So stay to the left, brake earlier and get your speed down. I'll show you. There, now we've dropped to 3rd gear and I've dropped to 68 miles per hour. I've made the apex already. It's a constant apex this. You don't really want to drift away from it. Stay as tight to the left as possible, all the way around like this. Because at this point here, when you can see the next right hand corner, that's when you can start accelerating and unwinding the steering, but you need to stay planted to the left. Now the reason for that is because if you don't, you won't make the right hand corner. Okay, so at this point here, I'll pause it again. There, you can see I'm as far to the left as possible, which is setting up my apex to the right. Now all this requires is a little back off the gas and maybe a tiniest of dabs of brake, just again to get that little bit of over rotation, get the back of the car sliding out using the weight transfer of the car so that the front will point in, and then you've got to clip that apex. So here we go. There's the apex, as much of it as possible. Now you can already see at the top of your screen there's a little bit of rumble strip on the right, which is the exit of this corner. Now beyond that you can see there's a lot of yellow markings. You must stay off those yellow markings, otherwise you're going to end up spinning up the rear tyres and spinning, because there is no grip there whatsoever. So from this point in you can start unwinding the steering and starting to accelerate for the apex on the clipping point on the left. So here we go. So there's the rumble strip on the left, and I've exited that maximum speed really because I got the clipping point. So what you're getting really here is it's all about lines, you know, it's all about getting the right line at the right time and not being over aggressive with the corners. If you're over aggressive into them, it will screw up your exit speed. Now here, just full blast, and you've got to brake earlier than you think. I'll stop us at the braking point, which is a lot earlier than you think, which is there. Now I'm about 100 metres out again. You can see the 50 metre board on the left. You've got to start trail braking and steering in at this point, taking as much of the curb as possible on the left. If you don't, you'll go too slow, you'll run out of room, you'll go on the grass on the right. So here comes the trail brake with the steering. There's the apex. And now, from now on in, gently accelerate. If you put your foot down and boot it too early, the back of the car will just spin round because you've got no grip. So as we exit this corner, I'm gonna gently unwind the steering and give it a little bit of gas, trying to be in the middle of the circuit for the next sharp right corner. You can see we've got like a double apex corner coming up. So here we go, you exit, unwind the steering, middle of the circuit, and then clip that apex. So it's a gentle brake, steering, let the car roll round, and then here unwind the steering, quick squirt on the gas, and then let the car roll round again. Now I've not used any brake round there because I've already got my speed down prior to these two corners. Now as soon as you start seeing the exit of this corner, which is on the right, the rumble strip, you can start again gently unwinding your steering and gently feeding in the power. If you're too aggressive, or if you take your steering off too slow, you'll spin round because there's no camber on these corners, they're all flat. throughout the entire circuit, so there's nothing to push the rubber into the tarmac. So if you spin up the tyres, it's very easy to do and you can come off. So gently unwinding the steering, and now we're back to the key to the finish of the lap again, which is this final corner. So it's an early brake, turn in, take the apex. Loads of curb that time. Now I can boot it and I'm going to get maximum traction down the straight, so keep well to the left and then try to keep as tight to the right as possible. So we'll stay on board now for a flying lap, and I'll try to just summarise that as quickly as I can. So I'm sticking to the inside of the circuit, maximum gear in 6th gear. Now the next corner I'm going to have to go down to 3rd or 2nd, staying as far to the left as possible, heading for the tyres on the right that will start appearing. Now they're red, it's a marker, they're red. Brake about 100 metres out, trail brake, head for the red tyres, take as much of the apex as possible, gently with the gas, back off the gas, clip the apex and then start gently feeding in the gas. Keep to the right and then drift to the left, gentle brake, rotate the car round, come off the brake and then plant the gas once you've clipped the apex. Keep far to the left as possible, clipping the apex on the right now, keeping tight to the left, remember here, braking heavily early down to sort of 3rd gear, keeping tight to the left, tight to the left, tight to the left. Good, keep it really tight to the left. Now, off the gas, steering to the right, let the car over-rotate a little bit. Now plant the gas down, avoiding the yellow rumble strip on the left. All the way down the straight, gently drifting to the right-hand side of the circuit. Early braking point here, much earlier than you think. And down a couple of gears, so start braking now, steering in now. Steering over the apex, into the middle of the circuit for this corner. Off the gas, just let it roll around the corner. A bit of over-rotation, not a problem. Squirt on the gas. No brake, turn, let the car roll. When you see the rumble strip on the exit, press the gas, unwinding the steering gently. Take this apex, brake early, turn in, so you make the corner. Now you can plant the gas for maximum traction down the straight. Now I believe that time that I did there was a 1:35 dead, which is probably there or thereabouts the pole time that I did on the GT300 League at round 10. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. I hope you've found that useful, particularly if you're new to the site. It may help improve your lap times, you never know. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Dave Higgins and you've been great. See you all soon.